I would have. Here's the thing, Joey, is I would have time to go to the movies, but you keep making me watch other movies for this stupid podcast, this piece of shit, fucking garbage that you
Hey, Chuck, we're
call
recording.
Comic Book Rundown presents Rundown Reviews. Brothers, sisters, gender resistors, welcome once again to the show. I am the guy who did this introduction. I am Chuck. I'm joined here by Ron. I'm joined here by Joe. And listen, for the next hour, you're going to hear a lot of things. But please know, I love this movie. Holy shit. This was exactly what I fucking wanted, Joe. Okay. This movie, we'll get into it. But the entire time that I was watching it, and now mind you, it took me 3 times to finally get through it. Okay. Fair. It took me a little bit. And it was, I would say, halfway through my second spot, I was like, oh, it's all satirical. But like my response to it is like, oh, it's satirical. Oh, I get it. But it's not the satire that you're expecting it to be. It's the meta satire that it's trying to be.
Yeah.
I will say this about this movie before we get into it. This trilogy follows another trilogy that we reference regularly on the show. This is the Army of Darkness to the Robocop series.
Okay.
100%. So we had the first one that was super serious. Evil Dead, super serious. Mm-hmm. We have Evil Dead 2, very campy and over the top, but it was trying to be serious. Robocop 2, I would argue, was very campy, but was still trying to take itself seriously. This clearly is not trying to take itself... Like, it is, but it knows what it is. It knows that it is going to be making fun of itself. And when you realize that, wow, this movie's really fucking good. And I really enjoyed it.
I had one big problem.
What's that?
It's not Peter Weller in the costume.
So about that, he wanted to come back. He met with the director to come back for the role, but he was already signed on for another movie, and that was interfering. So they couldn't have him. He couldn't be in it. And so they actually chose this guy. I can't remember his name, who was just a little bit taller and has a little bit longer of a neck. And apparently he was, because this movie, the second movie didn't make a ton of money, they didn't have really have a budget for this one. So they had to reuse old outfits, old props, old everything. They had nothing new. This suit was a suit from the first movie. And because that was formed Peter Weller, this new guy, apparently after a while wearing it, the suit kind of hurt, like strained his neck a little bit and strained his head. He was getting headaches, allegedly.
He legitimately can't move his head like in this movie.
No.
Like when you watch it, it is all torso movement because he literally cannot move his head from side to side.
Which works though, because that's kind of Robocop.
Right, because he's a robot.
Yeah.
He's a Robocop.
Well, I mean, he is one of many
Except for to his friends, he's Murphy.
Yeah.
That's true. To his friends, he is still.
But you can call him RoboCop.
What I also enjoy is to try to hide that it's not the original actor. They do pretty much only wide shots when he doesn't have his helmet on. Well, so it's like super far away.
There's an explanation for that. The reason he got blown up or like scarred, burnt up, was to hide the fact that, well, give a reason why his face looks different. So when like they first pull off the mask and it has a different look. Like honestly though, like he's still, yes, it's not Peter Weller, but the looks are kind of similar.
I wonder if this is, let me do some research. I think this is the same guy who does the Robocop TV show.
Oh, it's highly possible.
Let me find out. Hold on.
Well, while you're looking that up, I have a few complaints in this one. I enjoyed it. It was fine, but from the sounds of it, I don't, and you know, Ron and I were talking just before you got on. It sounds like you both enjoyed it more than I did. And that's fine. Like
I liked it way better than the second one, that's for certain.
Sure.
And there was a lot of stuff in here that I just... One. Oh, it was the drugs and the drug...
Oh, yeah, no. Sure, but I don't remember, like... I remember the whole drug thing, and then, you know, I remember the little kid.
And the drug robot, and...
What did you say the actor's name was?
I didn't, because I couldn't remember.
Robert Burke? Isn't that the original?
Robert Burke. That's
the
Peter
original
Weller.
guy.
Peter Weller was the original guy.
Oh, okay. So apparently he is also in the original RoboCop.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. I wonder if he was the stunt double? Which would kind of explain...
Maybe he was one of the guys that killed RoboCop.
Let me see who he is. He does... you tell that they didn't have money for the budget because they do go back to the silver suit instead of the blue we had in the second one.
Yeah, like I said, they took everything from the first movie and brought him in here. It does not show him on the first one.
It was under his like roles. It just said RoboCop, like things that he's been in.
You sure was it RoboCop? Well, okay. Like I'm looking at his IMDb,
RoboCop,
and it says RoboCop 3, RoboCop vs. Terminator, which was a video game.
I mean, this is Google. I don't know, man.
Oh, okay.
Fucking AI.
Yeah, so, he's not in a lot of things.
So one of the reasons,
lot of bit parts looks like, yeah.
One of the reasons why I couldn't take this movie seriously though was because it had Rip Torn in it.
Okay,
and then it also had
loved Rip Torn in this movie,
and it also had the Have you seen my stapler guy from Office Space?
Stephen Root, one of the greatest actors of all time. Shout out to Elite Eight Showdown. We proved that point.
But I can't take him seriously either. As a resistance fighter, like I just couldn't take him seriously. And then when he was the freaking mole, it was just like.
I mean, I knew that the minute. I knew that.
Exactly.
There was a mole. Yeah.
When she didn't take him seriously about seeing his stapler, like we knew it was all over.
This cast has like a murder's row of like B-list actors.
CCH Pounder, yeah.
She's a great actress. Love her.
The first thing I can ever remember her in is Warehouse 13.
Yes. Yep. I love Warehouse 13.
Fucking amazing show. I had Simon watch it. I bought the DVD set. Yeah. And Simon started watching. He's like, "Man, this show is actually really good." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, it's great until you get to season 5 when it's like, "Hey, we're ending, so we gotta like wrap up season 4, and then just kind of limp on for 7 episodes." Great.
Mako also in this.
Yes, and he's a bad guy.
Yeah. Well, is he a bad guy? He's just kind of a robot that doesn't really do anything.
Well, he wants to build in America. Well, I mean,
he's the reason why they were trying to kill everybody. He's the one that hired the rehab people. He's the one that gave him the fucking bomb with all the little weird Japanese samurais.
So, like, I was curious.
Oh, you're right. I'm thinking the wrong guy. Sorry, you're right.
I was curious about that because what's his nuts? Like, he's got the secret weapon, and when he hits it, then 2 of the Atomo androids come in, and I'm like, so your secret weapon was calling more androids? No, it was the bomb, but also that bomb blew up OCP Tower. So if Mako's character wants to build and he's trying to clear out whatever Royal Heights or whatever the heck it was called, Crown Heights, well, now you have a whole middle of the city that you can build in, and it's your land. You own it because you bought out OCP.
So here's the question: how many people were still in that building when the whole the top 7 stories of it blew up?
And 1 kill.
Do they not know how big 20 yards is?
Nope.
Apparently not, because all they did was blow up the top of the building and not down the whole building.
Yeah.
Jill Hennessy, of course, is in this movie as well. Who famously is from Crossing Jordan, Yellowstone, which currently she's a character in Yellowstone. She's also in Madam Web, apparently.
Are you talking about the doctor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
So I've got a gripe to make about the doctor. Well, not about the doctor, but about the dude from Billy Madison that was obsessed with the doctor. Because he's always talking about her ass. And don't get me wrong, she is cute. She's a very attractive woman, but she does not have any kind of legendary or even epic ass, and he's always like, "You bring that legendary ass over to my office at 7:30." It's like,
It's
that she-
not how it looks; it's how it's used.
oh, gotcha.
Just appreciate a woman's ability, Ron, not just her body. Okay.
Listen, I said she was attractive, and she was like. I actually really liked her character in this movie. But
she's also in Law and Order. She plays one of the prosecutors in Law and Order for like a million years. That's where I knew her from because I was like, man, she looks so familiar. But that's who she is. And then, of course, the most and greatest actor in this movie, we have Daniel von Bargen, who is from my second favorite movie of all time, Starship Troopers, who plays Life for Me is now forgetting what his character's name is in Starship Troopers. Hold, please. He's also in Super Troopers. He plays the.
he's the captain, Captain Grady.
Yeah, it's Captain Grady.
Or Police Chief Grady. Yeah.
Why is it not coming up?
I don't know.
We will. Joe and I will be watching it because. Oh no, never mind. That sounds so lame. It was just looking. Anyway, he plays the head of the Roughnecks. He plays the lead commander in the Roughnecks, who has the robot hand, who famously says, if you're a coward, I'll shoot myself, and then proceeds to shoot somebody, which is like my favorite thing ever. So I just love that. Yeah, great fucking movie. There is comic books based off that. We should have to watch it. Anyway.
I would add to my list, but I don't know.
We're getting right around that time, so like you could just slide it right in.
Oh, okay. Oh,
right before Spawn.
Just slide it right in.
Yes, right in right before Spawn.
All right.
Yeah, this was like a murder's row of like B-list actors. I'm just like, yo, this is where the budget went. Having all these actors, like fairly famous actors. Now, granted, I don't know if they were all that famous back then, and maybe this was their. Can you imagine Robocop 3 being your launch to success? But the premise of the movie, I realized, it's a slightly different, but it literally the same plot of the other two, which is Robocop, good cop, air quotes. What if we shut off the human aspect of him and make him just regular robot guy?
Yeah.
But now they do it this time. They do it for good because he's starting to murk cops. So he believes in the ACAP theory. All corporations are bad, and proceeds to try to take out OCP.
Yeah. Okay, that's another question I have. Because in the first movie, didn't they get rid of his directive for not killing OCP?
No, because
official?
He kills the one guy after.
Because he gets fired. That's right.
And then he gets fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, fired on. And then the second one, I don't remember the second one. Like I mean that guy wasn't OCP, so that was some druggy, right? Again, I don't remember the second one. I remember the first one. First one was great.
Yeah.
Second one I gave like a 6 something. I just don't remember it.
One thing that I always love throughout all three movies, though, is the RoboCop action theme, like the like that. Every time there's some kind of action with RoboCop happening, I love that. Fucking slaps.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that doesn't get credit for like dope soundtracky things. You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking of like Terminator or Lord of the Rings. Like, anytime something happens, it's that iconic sound. Vader and the Imperial March. Things like that. I feel like this doesn't get enough credit for like how dope the like RoboCop riff is.
I agree.
Kind of shreds. I'm with Ron on this one. Kind of shreds.
Right. I have an issue with the little girl. And mind you, this came out the same year as Jurassic Park. So having like a young child, be super experienced with computers, I guess was the thing.
Okay, boomer.
Nowadays makes sense. Okay? 1993, when those computers were shit, that made no sense how they were like so good with computers. That's all I'm saying.
No, see, that's why her parents couldn't afford to pay their rent, was because they bought her that computer.
Also, a bit of a stereotype, because she is part Asian and she's working on calculus. Just saying.
Was she actually supposed to be part Asian? I thought she was adopted.
I don't know.
Oh, she had the whitest dad ever. So
And the Asian mom, but they died. They get killed off, which is just like what the hell? Okay.
Speaking of getting killed off, though, we rarely. So this was rated PG-13.
Yes.
So they like definitely scale, which kind of leans into my what it's supposed to be, which is the satire of this is we're going to make a movie to sell toys.
Oh,
That's
this was
what
100%.
Yeah, 100. I mean, and it's
The
very
jetpack,
obvious. Jetpack, the switchable arm with the machine gun. That is like that is literally how they would have packaged a toy, right? Like RoboCop with machine gun arm action or something.
Yeah.
And then in a separate toy, you get Jetpack RoboCop. So I just really love that they were like laying that groundwork in. So stupid good.
And partially the director was also, I'm not gonna say limited from the studio, because from what I've read on IMDb, he made the movie he wanted to make. He's happy with the product that he put out.
I'd be happier with this one than I was with number 2. So yeah,
the fact that it was PG-13, I think, was just the studio. Actually, it was a studio trying to market it to a younger audience, because in 88, I think the RoboCop TV show was out. The cartoon
somewhere around there.
Yeah. So like they had 2 movies. They had a TV show out there. You look at the success of the Ninja Turtles TV show, and the draw of kids to go see that, even though that 3rd movie was complete crap.
Also, a movie made to sell toys.
100% movie made to sell toys. But all in all, like, this movie was, I don't know, like.
Do you ever see the live action television show of this?
I did not.
RoboCop. It is on Amazon. You can watch it.
They're like, because they're like mini movies almost, right? They're like hour and a half or something like that.
I want to say I started watching the first one. I got like 10 minutes in, and I was like, "This ain't." But I had just watched it after the first one, and I was like, "Oh, this ain't RoboCop." But if I watched it after this, I may go back and watch it, because then I'm gonna be like, "Oh, it's to sell toys." That makes sense. Like that's why it's silly and being over the top and ridiculous. But I remember it being like, I think in the opening scene he pulls up and he's just very like TV cop guy. You know what I mean? Like as he like his dialogue is very like silly goofiness, and then he pulls his gun out and he shoots the ground, and all the bad guys are like, like hopping around dancing around the bullets and stuff like that. And I was just like, this isn't shoot a guy in the dick. What are you doing? I just fucking I don't know.
I
love Robocop.
Nope, sorry, it's a TV show. Can't have any of that.
Yeah.
Because that came out in the 90s, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it was like late 90s, yeah. Mid to late 90s.
I think it was earlier. It was like 94.
How is it through all these movies, sorry to change the subject, that Johnson has stayed alive through all 3 of these movies?
Because he stays in the Johnson, he was the help,
the black guy with glasses. Yeah.
Damn.
It was kind of.
He doesn't push.
He's like he's got to be the biggest ass kiss in the entire world.
Yeah, probably.
Because he's lived through every single boss that he's had, and every single partner that he's had.
So there is one thing though in this movie that I did question. So he sees his partner get killed, and then he's like looking at her like dying body or whatever, and then he like associates, he like somehow does the weird schematic thing of like his wife who turns into his partner, who then turned into the doctor.
Yeah,
there was a part of me that was like, are they really trying to work in a love story but have it like make sense for a robot? Is that what's happening right now?
In my eyes, it was like he likes women with long curly hair.
This right here was the equivalent of Grandpa Itchy watching the Crystal Vision thing on
the Star Wars special. Nice.
Oh, you're not wrong. Yeah, that was like my only like thing I talked about. I was like, what was the point of this? They didn't need to do that. Like,
no,
unless it was one of those things where obviously he had, you know, he had his wife and he remembers her fondly. He had the partner,
Lewis.
Thank you, Lewis, who he respected and was always helping him out. And now he sees the doctor, and the doctor is trying to help him out. Lazarus is trying to do everything she can to make him whole again, you know, even though he's a robot. And she's on his side, like the douchebag from Billy Madison's like, hey, you're gonna, after the kiss ass doctor is like, hey, we can put a chip in his head, and Billy Madison guy's like, yes, you're gonna do that. And so she goes against that and says, here you go, smash, not gonna do it. So maybe it's just he actually respects strong women that take care of him, which I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. It felt like it was
definitely felt like he was like a love story. Like, you're right there.
Yeah, yeah. Or like
there's an attraction there.
Or
but
like
there was never really an attraction to
like...
Lewis though. And
Lewis had an attraction to him.
Yes, but he never had one to her.
True.
Yeah. I don't know. I just thought it was weird.
No, I agree.
Didn't make a whole
something else that was really weird in this movie was when they're in the precinct and they are walking the drag queen looking person through there, and they're like, she's like, my client didn't do anything. And they're like, we caught her with a non-union video crew and a German Shepherd, and it's like, wait, what?
Because they didn't have a union crew. They were making the movie.
Yeah, that felt a little targeted. Like they were trying to like get at like a studio or something. I wonder if there was like a joke behind that we didn't know.
I mean, I didn't see anything in the trivia, but I wouldn't put it past it being something.
Although it would have been. Wait, when did this movie come out?
93.
93.
So this would have been right around the time the Power Rangers was coming out. And they like famously were not using union people to shoot that. And I know
the movie.
Or the show.
Oh yeah, the movie's 96.
Yeah, like the show's coming out right around now, and there was like I remember there was a lot of heat on Saban because they were not using union actors, they were not using union, like nothing about it. So I don't think it was, but it'd been interesting if that was like a shot at Saban, maybe. I don't know.
Speaking of shots, though, when they all wreck their cars, like at the beginning of the movie, when the two cops wreck their cars chasing the van, and then the like weird skeeter punks or whatever come out, splatter punks,
whatever they're called,
and the cops just start shooting. Right? None of these people are even like really out in the open or anything. They just start blasting, and then they get on the radio and they're like, yeah, we're low on ammo and need backup. So of course you're low on ammo. You're literally just...
They are the only ones who are low on ammo because everybody else has ammo cheat in this movie and just get unlimited firepower.
Yeah.
Especially
Robocop's banana clip arm that shoots like 700 rounds.
Yeah, like I was wondering if he had all those up in his shoulder or something, like just kind of standing, like I don't know.
Got a feed that runs. Got a feed that runs from his gut all the way to the.
Yeah, maybe. Like he had a lot of different compartments in this movie that made no sense. Like when Nico, the little kid, found the tracking device, she just knew exactly where to look for that.
She's a smart kid.
Yeah, boomer. Read the manual.
Just because you don't understand how things work, Joey, doesn't mean the kids don't. Okay.
HMO.
I don't know if you guys caught it or not, but there's like this one part where there's graffiti on the wall, and it's OCP, and it says "oppressive capitalistic pigs."
Yes. Did see that.
And I'm just like, that's fantastic.
That was just outside their base, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing's
cover.
a secret base like writing graffiti about your enemy on the outside.
Dude, not so joking.
Here's the thing: when they were showing off all of the chief or the sergeant was saying, "All right, if like here is a list or pictures of all these potential terrorist hideouts, and it's all these houses," and they show the church, and then when they get to the church, you see a sign up like on like the on the steeple. And I'm just like, oh, so basically any house, because we saw plenty of houses that had homemade signs basically saying OCP are terrible. So any house that has that is a potential terrorist hideout. Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And okay, their hidden base, right? When the Sama robot comes down and
Automo.
kills that the what?
Automo is his name.
Automo, yeah. When it kills those three like guards or whatever, and the guy just happens to have a map on him that leads exactly like. Why would he need the map? First off, he knows.
That's what I was thinking.
And that it's like, oh wow, okay, here's a plot device.
Yeah.
And then when the doctor, when the little kid shows up with the doctor to fix Robocop up, and they're driving the police van. So they're pulling this police van in. These guys have no idea who's in this van. But all of the leaders of this rebel like alliance thing are out in front of the van in plain sight, no cover, nothing.
Makes sense. Totally fine.
Yeah, that's good planning right there.
Totally fine. Just like, I mean, speaking of good planning, when we first see the terrorist group, they blow up a gate, which, okay, fine, whatever. But then they try to open the actual warehouse to get these weapons, and they have a stolen card, and the card, sets off an alarm to the security guards at OCP. And I'm just like, okay, first off, the gate blowing up didn't trigger anything. Ed 209 setting off an alarm, that didn't trigger anything.
Maybe that's what they were planning, was that Ed 209 was just going to take care of anything that came through the gate.
Well, they apparently didn't count on some 7-year-old with a computer.
That's another thing. The fact that Ed 209 didn't just pick up his foot and stomp on her.
Yeah, he even looks down at her. It's like, kind of like, what the hell are you doing?
Maybe he had new programming where he didn't hurt kids.
Well, especially since Ed 209 absolutely just wreaks havoc in the original movie and like murders like everybody. So it did make a lot of sense. But also, kids are the future, Joey. Like, get your boomer head out of the out of your old ways and understand that, God.
Did you also notice how rough the rebels were with all their guns? Like, every time they picked up a gun and put it somewhere, they'd like slam it down. It's like, dude, like, the fuck are you guys doing?
That's no different than Scatterpunk or whatever the heck they were called.
Yeah, but I expect them to do it.
Sure.
That's just a punk thing to do. But rebels, other gripe I had that I like laughed at. So, OCP shows up. It's like towards the end of the movie. OCP shows up to the police station, and they're like, "You need to go get Robocop, or whatever, or the rebels. You need to go get the rebels." I forget what they were going for, and they're just like, "Actually, we don't, because we surrender our badges." And they all collectively surrender their badges. Now, if a cop surrenders a badge, they are no longer a cop under any circumstance. They then take the police vehicles.
See, I like that because I told Simon when they were handing their badge, I was like, normally in these movies they hand in their badge and their gun, but they didn't hand in their firearms, so something's going to happen. And then the next scene is them stealing the cop cars with all the cops' weapons and showing up to protect the civilians. And I'm just like, they had to turn in their badges because then they weren't cops, so they weren't bad.
But then they show up to the rebels, like a place where other civilians are, and they're like, "We're here to help. You are all been deputized."
Yeah, he deputizes every single one of them. And it's like, you can't.
That way-
You
You're no
can't
longer
do
a
that. You're
sergeant.
not a cop anymore.
That way he's legally covered both ways. See?
Well, so I just assumed that as soon as they were done stopping the rehab guys, that once they get their badges back, they arrest everybody for having legal firearms. You know, because the cops again.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
But right before that scene happens, when Robocop walks in there and he's like, "You guys might want to call the fire department."
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking hilarious. And then he gets a fucking flamethrower in his little machine gun hand.
Yeah, there was a lot of good like RoboCop like one-liners in this. I really enjoyed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Something that was bad though, when CC Pounder's character dies, and she looks at the kid and she's like, "Ugh."
Yeah. The kid gives a thumbs up back at her too. Why?
Also,
Why?
that kid is way too okay with death. Like
She lives in Detroit.
her.
Trauma.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
This was a drama in Detroit, like
Yeah, I mean, like
in the 90s.
especially that. But she allegedly lived through 2 times when RoboCop and other people were destroying Detroit. So, and also we should mention that the police department is no longer on strike. So, the RoboCop is no longer a scab. Shirts will still be in the.
That's true.
Simon pointed out, he's like, "Did you hear what that guy said on the phone in the background?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, he says that they're no longer on strike." And I'm like, "Ha, that's funny."
Yeah.
That is funny. I did enjoy that. Yeah, not only is he not a scab, but now he's like also super union dude, not like anti-corporate, anti-management, which was really interesting.
All it took was us pointing it out on a shirt. I mean,
That's true. Yeah.
20
So that
years,
works.
30 years later. Okay.
it's canon. I said it on the show.
Sure.
Okay,
why
sure.
not?
That's
Why
how
not?
that works, Joey. Don't bring your boomer logic into this.
Do you want? I have written down here that when Americans built a robot, they come up with Robocop. But when Japan builds a robot, they actually have a robot, an actually good functioning robot. 3 of them at that, which was interesting and weird.
Well, yeah, it's the difference of like like a Ford Mustang and like a good car. You know what I mean? Like a Honda, like a Honda Civic. Affordable, works better, lasts longer. But
You
ain't
don't
American
become a
muscle,
douche by
Joey.
driving
You
it?
know what I mean? Yeah, it's not American muscle. Not that Dodge
okay.
Charger
Ah,
made in Mexico.
not wrong.
What were their swords made out of? Because goddamn, those things could cut through anything.
Okay.
They can cut through anything and not even at the right spot, apparently. Because when he cuts through that sign, he cuts at the very bottom, but it goes diagonal somewhere in the middle. And I'm just like, what the what?
Well, and also he goes to cut off RoboCop's arm, and he just happens to not actually cut it off, but just detach it where it's supposed to be detached anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
I was a
interesting.
little disappointed. It's
a fail-safe.
I suppose. This does have the little bit of like 90s action curse, which is we don't really have to figure out choreography.
We don't have to figure out choreography.
I think he's froze.
Oh, he is.
Hold on. There we go. I'm back.
There you are.
This has the 90s curse of we don't have to figure out choreography for a fight scene unless it's specifically a martial arts movie.
Huh.
Well,
Because
I was gonna say allegedly
Yes.
the director wanted that scene to be more. I don't want to say ecstatic, but like it wanted to actually be like fighting kind of martial arts style, but he didn't have the money to hire any martial arts like Japanese actors, martial arts specialists. So
Yeah.
it's kind of what they got.
yeah, I mean, like it was fine. Like there was enough, but also it kind of makes sense. RoboCop shouldn't be able to fight. Like, he's a big, giant, hunking piece of metal. Realistically, he should have been freaking danced on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that ninja should have kicked the shit out of him.
I was since their robots were like faster and more agile and apparently still just human. And apparently just as strong as RoboCop.
Yeah.
Although I guess technically, like so, RoboCop is RoboCop is like a T 500, right? Like it's human. It's some human parts inside a robot body.
Yeah.
So he's technically a cyborg, right?
I mean, it's his human brain basically in there, and
eyeballs,
the face,
and his eyeballs, and his face. Yeah. And he used to have a stomach, but then they replaced it because they got tired of the baby food, I guess. In the first one, he had to eat baby food to survive.
Yeah, I do.
Barely remember that.
And then, but this, what was it, Automo?
Yep. O-T-O-M-O. Otomo.
Yeah. I think he's just a robot who looks like a human. He's like an actual Terminator, essentially.
Mm-hmm. Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Japan, #Japan. They like to make humanoid robots that do housework, apparently.
But normally they're lollies and they're sex robots.
Oh, and they're really good at gotcha machines. Presents.
Maybe, sure.
So the bad guy, like the leader of the rehab crew or whatever, the fact that he made his own handle big stick is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And humorous.
It tracks for him being.
But also, there's this part where after they capture the doctor, after they break into the rebel hideout or whatever and blast everybody to hell, they've got her in that room, and she's like yelling and hollering at the camera, and he's looking right there, watching and listening. He's like, "No one's listening to you, sweetheart," but he is. He is. But he's right there listening.
I don't think the volume actually came through.
It did.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's really all I got.
That was my last note.
Yeah. I had a few. What was some other stuff? Well, okay. So there is the gigantic robot backpack in the room that we need to talk about. So the rebels get a hold of the prototype, essentially. And the doctor, because at this point the doctor has joined them. They're trying to fix up RoboCop, and she's like, "Oh, you guys found the jetpack? That's crazy. It was a prototype. It did. I think she said it didn't really work or something.
No, well, they said they ran out of funding before he was able to use it.
Okay, they ran out of funding. Just hysterical. So why would we throw it out? So he gets it, and it doubles as a power pack, where if he runs out of power, he can recharge himself with it. It has missiles on it, and it's like a jetpack that doesn't fly. And he immediately has it on, and then takes it off when there's problems, which I really laughed at. I was like, "Oh, did they really just introduce this so it's still a toy, and then they're not going to use it?"
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
I really thought that was the case, but
they had to make it dramatic.
Well,
yeah, because Lazarus says something about going to get them, which is exactly what Lewis said when she died, and so he's like, "I have unfinished business." And that's when he goes to the rehab area of the police station and fries them.
Right. And he does the lay down thing, and he is able to activate it or whatever.
Yeah.
He gets it. And because at that point OCP has hired what was it, OCP that hired him? That hired the the gang?
Yeah, because rehab is part of OCP.
Yeah.
Right. So they're showing up, and they also have a tank.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they have a tank? And then they're just the rebels and the The rebels and the cops now are outside. They have flipped cars to try to make shields, which, by the way, now granted, they probably didn't know that there was a tank coming. Probably not the best idea in the world to use a car as your barricade when there's a tank, because that's just going to blow the fucking car up. But okay, fine, whatever.
Maybe they drained all the gas out of them first.
I hope.
Not
that matters.
Doubt that. Yeah. Very much so.
Well, I mean, you're also assuming that there was gas in there to begin with.
That's fair.
These cars may have just been stalled on the road because they were out of gas.
That's true. They were in the poor part of Detroit. So
yeah.
My favorite thing also is the flimsy piece. Like, this is a pretty common thing in the 90s action movies of when they need to set up a post-apocalyptic barricade. They do like horseshoe barricades. You know what I mean? Like, or no, what the hell is it called? The wooden like barriers. Not horseshoes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Horse posts? I don't know. They're called something specifically. I don't remember. Wrapped with the flimsiest barbed wire you've ever seen.
I did see that.
I always wonder, like, who is that stopping? What is the intention of that to stop? Because they always, of course, leave a wide enough gap.
It stops cavalry.
Is that it? Just cavalry? Because they leave it wide enough for people to walk between them, and a car would knock that over in like 5 seconds. And I don't think that the barbed wire would be strong enough to like rip the
tires
to like rip it. Yeah. So
probably not. But if you get enough of it caught up in the axle, it could muck up the works and stall the car.
That's true. I can tell you though, you do not need barbed wire to do that. You just need a spare tire off a Jeep, and you need to hit it going 40 miles an hour, and you will fuck your car. $7,000 worth of damage to your
holy shit, dude.
Yeah,
and that
which, by the way, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, I was in a car accident, but yeah, so $7,000, the frame's bent, engine's fucked, a whole bottom, and they still need to send in an adjuster to figure out if it's actually worth fixing, or if the car is totaled.
7,000 is more than I spent on my car, so
$7,000 is absolutely more than what that car is worth.
7,000 is what I put down on my car.
So I can't imagine that they're gonna be like, yeah. Like the frame's bent, the engine's fucked.
You're probably screwed. Although I've known people who have totaled their car and still drove it, fixed it, air quotes, fixed it, and still drove it.
Maybe your insurance adjuster needs a visit from the other adjuster.
No, that's just a middleman. That's just a middleman, dude. I can't have. Now, if he wants, if the other adjuster wants to go after the CEO of my insurance company, actually, you know what? Allegedly, in a book, hypothetically, back behind me, I would say that the adjuster needs to go get my local agent, because my local agent sucks. And I wouldn't be upset if, hypothetically, in a book behind me, that happened. But anyway, so they flip the cars, whatever, and the tank's coming, and then Robocop's like, I remember that I'm good, and I'm gonna jump into my jetpack again, because the jetpack, because he had just gotten done fighting Japanese robot.
Yeah,
Automo.
Yeah, Automo. Just gets done fighting him, and then it's just like, that jetpack is perfectly fine, despite the fact that there's literally fire burning right next to it. Completely fine, unhurt in any conceivable way.
That's because there was gum covering the hole in the gas tank.
So we'll get there. We're gonna get there. So it clips it onto its back, and they're just like, "Oh no, we're fucked."
Sunchuck's frozen again.
Yeah, if you guys are not watching the YouTube, you need to go watch the YouTube.
Oh no, there's something we can do, and then
there it is.
There we go. There we go. So anyway, so like OCP's like, hey, there's like something weird happening, and then all of a sudden missiles start shooting. Or here comes flying Robocop over them, just dropping missiles on the bad rebel guys, on the attic guys, and he blows up the tank. And
Like he takes out all of the Spider-Punk guys in like one go. And like, holy shit. The hell?
Yeah.
Okay.
One kill.
Absolutely
I
zero
thought it was one
remorse.
kill. Yeah.
Absolutely zero remorse with the amount of missiles. Also, again, apparently Jetpack has cheat ammo.
Yeah,
Because
tracks.
just endless amount of rockets coming off this thing. Oh, can only shoot 6 from what it looked like, but okay, fine. And then he blows up the tank with his. I think he uses his arm, doesn't he? He uses the arm gun to blow the tank up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he's apparently just got a hunter killer missile just
Yeah.
tucked away in his.
I mean, his gun is stowed away in his leg, so why not?
Yeah, I'm okay, fine. I mean, but he already shot one missile because doesn't he shoot the missile to kill Atomo?
Yeah.
No.
Blows his head off?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So it blows his head up.
that's what blows his head up. Because he like doesn't have an arm, and then he reaches over, and then
He
he's
gets
just like,
the arm and
yeah,
has enough time
it says
to put it in. And
some one-liner I don't
it.
remember now that I was just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto, and then shoots him in the head. No.
And so then he has the jetpack, and then he shows up to OCP in like to like confront the main bad guy, right? Because he's gonna end this one way or another. And then he immediately detaches the backpack.
Yeah.
Which does not make any fucking sense.
Yeah, so he doesn't get any damage to it, even though it's literally just laying there in the middle of this fight.
Yeah, I guess. And then then we find out that there's more than one Atomo.
Again, when he hit the button for that secret weapon, I literally thought it was just summoning more Atomos.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a little weird because he's like, oh, I don't want to use it yet.
Yeah.
But then they do what is probably the funniest thing to me in this entire movie, and I don't know why. But they're squaring off, and that rocket pack, the jetpack, is sitting on the ground next to them, and one of the freaking Atomo actor, I think it's the one that he shot in the face so they could like cover up the fact that they needed two of the same looking guy but make him look different. Yeah.
Yep.
Trips over it, but they immediately cut away because they obviously didn't have money in the budget, but he literally walks into it and immediately cut away, I think, to the doctor and the kid maybe or something, like, because they had just like shown up, because why wouldn't they just immediately show up into this like, really bad situation. It cuts back, and then they're like, it's very clear that they like reset, and then the two are like the two robots, and they battle, and then they blow up the building because Robocop. No, who shot him? Somebody shoots him. Who shoots him? Robocop.
What's Nico reprograms them.
Oh, that's right. To fight each other. That's right.
And then they cut each other's head off at the exact same time.
Okay, so
do they?
No,
it's actually very obvious. But
it's like a 3-second delay between the one head and the other.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't hire paid stuntmen, trained stuntmen.
So I'm looking at the goofs thing. Apparently on IMDb, after the two Atomos at OCP kill each other, McTaggart yells that they have a self-destruct failsafe. The Atomo Robocop killed earlier didn't seem to have this function, obviously. But maybe the secret weapon was the two Atomos and not that because it was the robots themselves that were the failsafe, allegedly.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that thing just had no what's it called? A MacGuffin?
Yeah, but a MacGuffin is something that shows up in like the beginning that they've said.
I guess that's true.
This was
in the middle.
You can't not even in the middle. Like it was the very end of you stupid people, you should have destroyed them. They're gonna blow up. Like,
well, no, I was talking about the special device that he had because he had it in the hotel room.
Oh yeah, yes. Where he's talking to you're talking about that as a MacGuffin. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I thought you meant the bombs as the MacGuffin. I don't know. Yeah.
Anyway, so then he clicks himself back into the jetpack, and he flies off with everybody.
Burning the dude's legs out from underneath him first.
Which was hilarious because he burns the legs out from underneath him, and then is immediately not on fire for some reason. Nobody knows why or how that makes any sense. And then he 9/11s the building, and it's all over, and they flee, forever. So, and everything's fine. They meet up. Now the question is, who jetpacks better, Robocop or the Rocketeer?
Ooh,
Robocop
Robocop, because his first time in the thing, he had it basically figured out.
Yeah,
so I'd have to say Robocop.
And could multitask. He was able to fly and shoot.
True.
Yes.
And there wasn't gum holding together his jetpack.
Also true. And jetpack also would charge him.
Yeah.
Very true.
Which was
very true.
Very good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get into it when we get closer to Spawn Cape, but I thought it was the green screen effect was interesting of Robocop flying.
Allegedly,
I thought it was terrible, but
allegedly the special effects in this movie, the team behind it would go on to become DreamWorks. So PDI, I think is what they were called. Hold on, let me find it exactly.
We were talking before we started recording that I saw Wicked today with my mother as her Christmas present. By the way, Happy New Year, everybody. But I
Thank you.
Yeah, I saw a movie by DreamWorks I think it was called Good Guys 2 coming out.
Yes. So
I didn't know there was a Good Guys 1. When did the Good Guys 1 come out?
Like
a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it,
that at all.
That's a comic book movie. That's based off a graphic novel, so we will potentially watch those in the future.
Nice.
They look fun. Like they look like they'd be kind of fun. But
yeah, they do look like they'll be fun.
It looked really interesting, but then because I was like, oh wow, this seems like a really cool premise and plot. I mean, I'm noticing
you're talking about bad guys, right? Not good guys.
Yeah, maybe it's bad guys too. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh wow, okay. There's a lot of this because there's like Creature Commandos that just came out, and
so good.
Like I have enjoyed it. I'm one episode in, and I really enjoyed it. And
what is it?
Suicide Squad.
Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos.
It's technically the beginning of James Gunn's DCU, because these characters will appear. It's an animated show, and they will appear in the live action movies, and the people who are voicing the characters are going to be their counterparts in live action.
So they aren't going to be they're going to be cartoons in the live action, like Roger Rabbit type of thing.
Correct.
Darn.
David Harbour,
that could have made the DCU pretty good.
David Harbour does the voice of Frankenstein, and so he'll be Frankenstein in the actual universe. So that's gotta be kind of fun.
Like Hopper?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The fact that we never got a Roger Rabbit Batman crossover is a little upsetting. I now realize what that could have been. No, I want Roger Rabbit in the darkest timeline of Gotham. That's what I want.
Oh, Dark Knight.
I just whatever the word.
I mean, the Batman's getting a sequel, isn't it?
It is.
They could work it in. They could get it in there.
Sure, they can.
That'd be sweet. Zack Snyder could do it. I mean, it'd look great.
It just has to be.
I say he could do it. Make it. He could. If there's one guy who could make it make sense, it's Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
6.5 hour long movie with lens flares and
I just imagine it.
He does slow motion.
It's Roger Rabbit, but he looks like one of the characters from Five Nights at Freddy's. That way, he fits into the dark cinematic.
Yeah,
sure.
Anyway,
Sorry,
so yeah,
all right, we're done picking on you.
The only other note I had was I enjoyed the premise of the news. Did I freeze again? God.
So okay. So you're talking about the news, and I'm assuming. Don't know if you're gonna bring up.
There we go.
Very beginning, the news guy. His name was Wong, and I actually have written down this may be racist, but I said that he's too white to be Wong. Right?
You're not Wong.
Anyway. But then the other news anchor toward the end, who is like reading the news and talking about how Robocop is killing all these people, and she's like, "I can't do this. This is all bullshit," and walks off.
That was the part I wanted to bring up. I really enjoyed that like they even had like the footage to make it look like he was like it was a very like it
even said reenactment on the bottom of it.
Yeah,
but no, it's a very Fox News type of thing, except for the.
Oh no, that's the thing. Like you could tell this is fake because this movie was fake because the all news anchors now doesn't matter if the story is real or not. They're still gonna read it.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Sad but true.
So anyway,
anywho,
by the way, Ron, Creature Commandos is essentially the Suicide Squad, but they're all monsters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
we didn't. So Suicide Squad, but interesting.
I liked the Suicide. Did you ever watch the Suicide Squad?
Is that the one that had Peacemaker in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I watched that one. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. This was good. So far, I'm only on one episode in and I really enjoyed it. So
yeah, there's 3 episodes out right now. HBO Max or Max, sorry. Thursday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
So. Okay, so
Joey, kill count.
All right, so I've got a lost limb count, which Robocop lost his arm, got cut off, and Atomo lost his head 3 times. We've got a kill count of 28, and I have a destroyed vehicle count of 16. It was actually for a while there, like it was kind of 1 and 1 up until for like the first 15, 10-ish, and then obviously kill count went higher. But yeah, I just like after the first like couple cop cars got destroyed, I'm like, oh yeah. They destroyed a lot of cars in here. I'm going to make
literal street war with explosions and cops killing cops, and still not as many deaths as Batman.
So, in theory, I could have counted every bus full of people that the rehab cops bust out, because technically they all died. I think.
Yeah, right.
Allegedly, because we definitely, we get dead parents with Nico's parents.
I know that's because their bus blew up or something.
No, I'm pretty sure that these rehab guys, they were getting rid of all of these people. They were moving them out and just.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Killing them all.
Maybe. But I don't know.
Look, as easily as they were beating people in the streets, they were definitely taking them out to the outside of. They were taking them from Detroit to Indiana and killing them in Indiana.
Nah, they were taking them just to the outside of Detroit and then putting bullets in their heads.
Yeah, that's a good point. They don't want to waste the gas.
Yeah, that's not inside corporate funding. All right.
Yeah.
They didn't have that many gas cards to hand out, and then you have to give people special IDs, and have to give them the passcodes for the numbers. And then you don't know who's using it for their personal vehicles and who's using it for the company vehicles. It's all a headache, and
Alrighty. So Ron, bingo.
All right, so we had government interference, betrayal by a friend, dead parents, comic logic, or origin flashback, Wilhelm scream, villain monologue, unexplainable science, reformed bad guy, which would have been the cops that turned to side with the rebels, hero kill, sexual innuendo, misogyny, fight for control of something, and cameo. And I say cameo because we had the scene with all the bad guys from the original movie. So.
Sure. Oh yeah. Anytime you get Kirkwood Smith,
Red
Foreman, you just call him Red.
I like it. He's more than just Red. Also, I don't really love bringing up that show. Like, it's tough, man.
Fair. That's only because of the one guy. He's a badman.
Well, it's like half of that cast is not.
Doing
so hot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Ashton Kutcher's part of the P. Diddy stuff.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, Wilder Valderrama, like stuff with like Lindsay Lohan's coming back out, and it's like not putting him in the best light anymore.
Okay, yeah,
like he was. Mila Kuner, Miller Cooner. That's a Deadlock Pro Wrestling podcast.
Okay.
Sorry, that's a very good joke. Mila he can't. The guy James, he's the host. He can't say Mila Kunis because he's Southern, so he calls her Mila Cooner. She was like in the cover up of a lot of it with Ashton, and of course like Ashton and actually most of the people on that outside of Topher's the only one who's walked away from that being like, yeah, no, I'm clean. I was just
that makes sense because he did quit before the end of the show.
True,
that's true. He's the only one who quit. Who actually walked away because Ashton ends up coming back to finish out the I think he finishes out the series. But yeah, that was that show and I go way back. I loved that show when I was growing up.
Same.
It was a big part of my life. So I'm very disappointed.
I watched some episodes. I never watched like a full season.
It was on a different streaming services for a while, and that was like, like people like have their like go-tos. Like that 70 show was like my go-to.
I watched it when it's still in syndication, so I mean,
yeah, back when it actually got featured and stuff. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
It falls off. It falls off after like season 5, but when they graduate college or when they graduate high school, they're like, what the fuck are we supposed to do with these characters now? And it just kind of falls apart. And then when Topher leaves and nobody remembers how to act anymore,
and they replaced him with some like weird dude that like
one of the Meyer guys who does his brother. He was on SNL and his brother was on SNL for a minute. Awful, just terrible. One of the worst actors in the history of the world. But yeah, anyway, that's my little rant about that 70 show.
And then Donna dyes her hair blonde and it's just all over.
Yeah. She was actually naturally blonde though. She had to dye her hair red, which is fun. But yeah, it kind of lost the plot of like it's supposed to be taking place in the 70s and it kind of loses that. But first 5 are great. I recommend them.
Yeah, but wasn't
anywho,
late 70s? So like they end up going into the 80s.
Yeah,
it is on New Year's Eve 1979.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's how it ends.
So
and then they make that
80s
show.
Yes,
which was 3 episodes, I think. But it's Dennis from It's Always Philadelphia was the lead actor in that.
All I remember is the promo of him having a like the giant cell phone and him being like, "Hey man, I'm calling you from a mobile phone, not a payphone. It's a mobile phone."
Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah,
it was not good.
All right, so Spawn Cape.
Look, the practical effects are fine in this. I thought they were good. This is like on the same level for me of like green screen rocket pack action. It doesn't look great. He looked very out of place. His shading was totally different, all that stuff. But I thought it was fine otherwise. I thought the Automo face after he like punched it or blasted it or whatever, and that looked weird.
Yeah,
didn't even like it. Like legitimately, just doesn't even look like the actor anymore, which I thought was interesting. But I was fine with it. It's pretty down the middle. I'm gonna say, I don't know, like 5 out of 50 Spawn Capes, somewhere around there. 5 out of 50 Spawn Capes. Yeah,
okay.
It was fine. I don't think this was all that revolutionary when it came out, and it definitely doesn't hold up now. But the whole point is that, like, was it revolutionary when it came out? And I don't think it was.
No, it definitely was not.
Again, I feel like we were on the cusp of something new and different coming out that was going to make it look like
we were on the cusp of where practical effects were amazing in Jurassic Park, and I don't know why they couldn't have done a little bit more practical with it.
Yeah, But I mean,
I guess Jurassic Park also had a lot bigger budget though. So
yeah,
that's true.
Steven Spielberg.
There is still a lot of CG in.
In what?
In that one movie.
Wait, we'll get the answer here in a second.
Jurassic
Maybe.
Park, though, is Jurassic Park a movie that? What I said was, is Jurassic Park the other side of the spectrum of the Spawncave continuum? Because it had a bunch of CG in it that to this day still looks amazing,
but
and doesn't.
It's like Ron said though, that had a budget. Like that was the first.
Well, and a lot of it was also practical effect.
Right, no. I'm saying yes. I know. What I'm saying is.
Oh, you're saying that like because Jurassic Park has such good
continuum. If the Spawn continuum is based off the idea that when Spawn came out, it was revolutionary for its time. Look at the cape. This is the most incredible thing the computer has ever had. And we look at it now, and it looks like it was made on a Windows 95.
Gotcha.
But Jurassic Park, when it came out, sure, it had a crazy budget, and they used it. But to this day, that still holds up to like most things being put out. So, like, is that the other side? Is like
it is.
The Jurassic Park
parallel.
There you go. I was gonna say perineum, and I don't think perineum is the word I'm looking for here. Parabellum? No. I'm gonna go parallel. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. So now we have the other side of the continuum. Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Alrighty. So that leaves.
Hey, you better be happy, Joey. I'm making content for you, you bitch. Goddamn. You're welcome. That was a little aggressive. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, I want to start off the
Chuck. Are you juicing again, man?
I've been up since 3:30. Give me a break.
I'm just
Chuck's having those mood, huh? I say the roid mood swings. Yeah.
No, I feel like
he had to pay $7,000 to get his car fixed. Maybe.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. So at time of recording, and probably time when it airs, I'll still actually have an answer. But whatever. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah. All right, so on to the score. Chuck, out of 10, what do you give this?
Look, is this a Robocop movie? Yeah, this is exactly the Robocop movie I needed in my life. I don't know if this just hit right with me, and I needed a movie like this to like lift my spirits or whatever. But this was satirical of being a Robocop movie. This is the Army of Darkness of this series. It knows what it is. It's being a joke, and yet everything about it is still really good. It's very making fun of the fact that it was made for to put out toys and all that stuff, and all the little like satirical things like with the news I thought was really funny, and corporation stuff that I feel like they actually did a really good job of coming across like they didn't in the second one. They really did it well in this. I would happily watch this again. I would even say I'd probably watch RoboCop 2 again so I could watch this, because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do all three, right?
I think that's where you're wrong. I think we could absolutely cut out RoboCop 2 and just paste 1 to 3 and pretend it never happened. Like when they bring out Superman Returns after Superman 2 instead of Superman 3 and 4.
He's got a point there.
Yeah, but I'm a completionist, so if I'm going to start watching a series, I have to watch all the shitty ones too.
I don't know what that's like.
I really enjoyed this. Trying to think where it ranks. What did I give the original RoboCop?
You gave the first one an 8.3.
I'm going to say 8.19. I thoroughly enjoyed this. This is kind of everything I wanted it to be and more. Okay. The only thing that bummed me out is that he wasn't really all that blue. But now I get why. Or make him red. You know what I mean? Like make it a totally different color. I feel like there was a red RoboCop action figure. Like it was like he was like.
I think that was just the shiny, but you had to catch him in a certain zone.
No, maybe.
That's a Pokemon reference, Joey.
Yeah, I got it.
I got it.
Yeah, that was a good one. I know that there was different. So I had a lot of these action figures, but I think they were based off the cartoon run. I want to say.
If there was a red RoboCop, then he was probably a bad guy.
No, it was like Speed Freak Robocop or something like with the pitch. So it was just a different deco, and I think he had like wheels that would attach, so you could like put his arms out, and then he would be like a car, and you could push him. I feel like that's what I had, but I don't remember. There definitely was a pink one because in the cartoon they make a girl RoboCop.
So allegedly, Lewis at the end of this one was supposed to come back as a RoboCop.
That would make sense.
That storyline got thrown out allegedly.
Oh, that's too bad.
So,
anywho,
yeah. So, Red RoboCop Danger Zone Vintage Retro Collection. I don't know if that's anything. Let's see here. Share screen. Yeah, yada yada yada. Boom. That thing right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had that action figure when I was a kid.
Any other Red Dwarf fans?
Danger. Oh, it was Danger Zone. Ron was right. Yeah, that one was dope.
Look at that guy.
Yeah, not very good. I remember the cartoon being really bad.
I never watched the cartoon, so
I know
I've never seen the cartoon either.
It's great. I mean, it's fine. It's as my my new go-to to hurt my kids' feelings, my students' feelings are. When they ask me if I liked something that they made, I go, yeah, it's like aggressively mediocre. Like just absolutely like crushes them. They're like, isn't it really good? Yeah, it's aggressively mediocre. Yeah, it's fine.
Wow,
that's terrible, Chuck.
Yeah, Rotten, what do you got?
All right, so I actually I went into this thinking that this was going to be another RoboCop 2, and I was delightfully disappointed in that because this was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. There are a lot of serious things that are covered in this satirically, as Chuck has pointed out, but that are still realistic today. Like people getting thrown out of their houses so corporations can, do their thing. Yeah. And cops being bad and and rich people getting whatever they want to and getting away with things and having no repercussions. Well, up until recently, that is.
Don't worry,
CEOs not.
By this point in time, they're still not going to have. By the time this episode comes out, they'll be back to not having any repercussions.
Well, then I guess somebody else is going to have to get,
or just shy of it, I should say.
Yeah, that's fair. But anyways, I gave this a 6.55 because I would also actually probably watch this one again. Although, unlike Chuck, I would just watch the first one and the third one. The second one can be banished to the Shadow Zone or whatever.
Shadow Realm.
There we go.
Poser.
Yeah, I never watched Yu-Gi-Oh.
I feel like you would aggressively think it's mediocre. Here's the thing: Yugi cheats a lot in it, and nobody ever calls him on it. And
what are you talking about? He's got like 80 cards in his 40 card deck. It's fine.
Yeah, he just constantly is. He constantly is switching out a sideboard mid game. But also, I feel like you would personally love Kaiba because Kaiba just like is a dick to everybody and has some pretty good like one-liner comebacks.
I mean, I am a big fan of one-liners, so
Kaiba's pretty awesome.
Joey,
yeah, watch it specifically only for Kaiba.
Yeah. Yeah, I went into this thinking it was gonna be terrible. I had a okay time, but honestly, talking with both of you, definitely sounds like it actually was a lot better than what I was originally giving it.
I also got to watch it with Simon, which made it more fun. So fair. Maybe it's like you with your Star Wars special,
and that's totally fair, 100% fair. I watched this at 4:30 in the morning because I was awake.
Gary didn't watch it with you, that son of a bitch.
Yeah, right, little bastard. So yeah, no, this is a fine movie. You call me a boomer, but the kid being, able to have a computer.
That's a 90s trope. That's what makes it good.
Yes, it's 100% a 90s trope, and I just don't give it. I'm a boomer, apparently.
Okay. Sorry, Joe.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Fucking boomer.
There you go.
I just don't understand these kids and their computers.
There it is. Trying to think what else. Him turning like not him being a cop, but then not being a cop and going against his directives to side with the.
He didn't go against his directives. He actually followed all of his directives because he was protecting the citizenry. He was protecting the innocent, and he was upholding the law.
And his last one was he can't attack an OCP.
They erased that one. It was fine.
But before he did, he blew up a van.
He didn't attack the officers, though. It says OCP officers. It does.
That's just the kind of loophole that I like, but anyway, no, like this is a fine movie. Like it's okay.
Would you say it's perfectly fine?
No, that's Chuck's thing. I just say it's fine. And maybe if I were to watch
aggressively
it again,
mediocre, perhaps.
Yeah, my new one.
God damn it! Now we have to have a new shirt.
I still haven't found the old one yet. Yeah, it like if I were to ever watch this again, I would probably go the first one and then this one. I think I would skip 2. I don't remember 2. Apparently, I didn't have a good time with that one.
That's fair.
It was a pretty forgettable movie.
Yeah.
It didn't really do anything.
So the fact that Peter Weller wasn't able to be in this one sucks. But I thought this guy did a fairly decent job. You know, he
The only thing I didn't like was he didn't have the voice because Peter Weller had that perfect RoboCop voice.
Deep voice. Also, we don't actually see RoboCop until like 20 minutes into this movie. Like actually see him. And then plus at the very end, like he gets when he's fighting Optimo the first time, he gets like damage to his mask, and he doesn't have his arm anymore. Like all he's got is that gun arm. But at the very end, nope, his mask is fine, hand is back.
They did it in the medical montage where they repaired him. You were there for that.
After he rescued the 2 of them and got them back. Okay, whatever. I give this a 6.23. Like it's one I would watch again, but definitely not like gunning for it anytime soon. It'd be one of those like if somebody were to put it on, I'd be like, okay, fine, I'll sit down and watch it. But like I'll be playing on my phone probably. Which gives us a combined score of 6.99.
Nice.
Which drops it in at number 42 out of 131 movies. Just behind Alien, the original Alien, at a 7.03. And just above Batman Begins with a 6.97.
I would definitely watch this again before I watch Batman Begins. So
it's also above Rocketeer at a 6.92.
I'd probably watch it again before I watch Rocketeer because he's a better Rocketeer.
That's the thing. I'd watch those 2 over this any day of the week.
Who heard? Did I hear Alien? Who heard Alien score? Oh, Ron did. The original Alien? You did that?
I think so. Hold on a second. Let me.
That's 2 Alien. Maybe. I can't read my own handwriting. I think both Ron and I actually, because Ron gave it a 6.23, and I think I gave it a 6.45.
Okay.
And yeah, you gave it an 8.4.
I did enjoy it.
But I like the second one better. I like Aliens more than I like this one.
That's what the difference. You like action and not horror, so.
But I do like horror.
But not as much as action, apparently.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Bitch. I'm sorry, I'm in a very bitch mood.
Yeah, I was the lowest score on Alien because I gave it a 6.23.
That's interesting. And it's kind of funny that, arguably one of the greatest movies of all time to a lot of people scores right around Robocop 3.
Just in our neck of the woods,
Yeah.
And we didn't grow, at least I didn't grow up with Alien. I didn't watch them when I was a kid. If I had watched them when I was younger, I'd have a different appreciation for them. I'd probably have a different appreciation for this one if I had watched it growing up. Like a lot of these films any like a lot of them have nostalgia factor, which is why we give them some scores that we give them. You know,
True. Very true.
It takes something like Stardust for me to be like, oh man, this was like amazing. I'm gonna give it a high score. You know, so something I've never seen before and just loved. But anywho,
interesting.
So, Chuck, tell us where they can find you.
Hey, you know where you can find me? You can find. Oh, it's New Year, New Me, isn't it?
Yep.
You can find me over on Instagram since probably at time of release, all social media is gone because
God willing,
we can't have anything that's not making money. I guess I don't know. Or security or whatever. Anyway, you can find me at only Instagram because it's pretty much going to be the only social media I use. Kick the Hood, No Me and Kicked. You can find my hobby page where I'll be painting up. Let's see, at time of release. At time of release, I will have all of my Bushido Risen Sun starter set fucking painted. I swear to Christ. If not, I'm going to lay in the street and Ron's going to hit me doing 40 in my car and re-break it. Okay? Otherwise,
I can't wait to see the done. I can't wait to see the done paintings because I can't afford a trip to New York.
But that's super fair. I'll come to you. How's that for now?
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that for me.
Yeah. If I can't do it, I will come to you and you will run me over with my own car.
you come hang out with us. Great.
You can find that Kicked Out of the Hobby, No Eating Kicked. And of course, you can find the Patreon, patreon.com/professional casual, and or until it's no longer that. But that is where you can find, of course, the greatest show, once a month show for Patreons ever made, the Getting Franchised with Chuck and Joe, or Joe and Chuck. I forget how I listed it. Look, we review a bunch of stuff. We're through the latest and greatest of all franchise stuff. So go check it out. We've covered Evil Dead, covered Child's, we covered Hellraiser. At time of release, which would be January.
Time of release will be We'll be doing
Candyman.
It'll be Evil Dead. Nope. Time of release, Evil Dead.
So we'll be doing Evil Dead. So it's the original, and it's the remake from 2016 or whatever. I forget.
Like
Which
was that the one in the apartment building?
No, that's right.
Okay. Shit. Oh, this is the one with the girl, Ash. Okay, that was actually I like.
Her name is not Ash.
Her name's not Ash in it.
Yeah, I know, but like, yeah,
but it's supposed to be a girl version. And it's very good. Spoilers, we like one better than the other, and your answers may surprise you. So go check us out. Getting Franchised 301 tier to get access to that. Patreon.com/professional casual till further notice. Ron, where can they find you?
Well, because I'm going to have to find some way to bootleg you can find me on Instagram or TikTok at Good at This Game. I will find some way to make it there because that's where I get all my important news from because I trust people there more than I trust news sources. You can also find me, my art on Instagram at Good Art This Game. And you can find me on this wonderful podcast, wherever we sell this wonderful podcast at. And you can find new shirts.
Is this your way of telling me I need to go put new shirts out?
100%. I didn't spend all that time to make all those shirts so that we could just hold on to them.
I was busy.
I know. I get that.
Christmas Carol.
Oh, see that
13 versions of them.
Okay, that's fair. Anyways, Joey, tell them where they can find you.
You guys can find me the show on Instagram, on Threads, on Blue Sky, Comic Book Rundown. You can email us comicbookrundown@gmail.com. You can rate and review us on any of those social medias, podcasting app of choice, wherever, email. If you do, we'll read an upcoming episode. We've got merch over at Redbubble and TeePublic, and this is me saying by the time this episode comes out, hopefully I'd already have it up by the end of last year. So time of recording, I got like 2 weeks. We'll see. And then we also song was done by
Cam.
Just Cam.
Just just Cam, formerly known as Father Doctor, Father.
Yeah, I don't.
Also
remember
formerly
the
known
ones
as part of the Sex Turtles and part of Wreck My Podcast. Neither of which exist
Actually,
anymore.
also formerly Cam, R.I.P. You know, he goes by CM now. A lot of people don't know that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you all for listening. Our next movie is gonna be one we're gonna have to rent.
You bitch.
Yeah.
What is it?
The Shadow from 1994.
Wow. Okay. So I remember this movie coming out. I remember having the toys.
Is this the one with
Alec Baldwin.
Yeah.
Stephen Baldwin.
One of the Baldwins.
It's one of the Baldwins.
Okay, I think I might have actually seen part of this one time.
Same.
I
think
remember
saw part of
it
on TV at one point in time. He remembers something. I don't know what he remembers.
I want the knife, please.
I remember the toys and the podcast version of this. Oh, Joey's just gone. He's still
gone?
spinning. There we go. Here we go.
Oh,
The
boy.
best part about it is you'll still have the audio. So on the podcast version, nobody's gonna know. But I'm just rambling, just saying just shit until you guys come back. Usually,
Yeah, I'll be interested to actually listen to that and see what you say. To be
Yeah.
honest, the last couple episodes, I haven't been actually editing. I've just been like, all right, smack the
good call there.
at the beginning. Smack
Definitely
the sound
nothing
at
we
the
should
end.
have. Definitely nothing we should have been cutting out of episodes for sure.
Yeah, I don't edit anything either, so
Yeah, it's true. Anyway,
I've been
I remember the Shadow. I had the toys. I was obsessed with it. Have never seen the movie, except for. Did I freeze again?
no.
Are you two just? Oh, you two are just.
Sorry.
You two are just perfectly still in the same position. Dicks.
I love it.
Um.
Try and do.
Anyway, I remember then trying to watch this movie and thinking it was really boring, but I was a little kid, so who knows? We'll see.
Chuck, you still have the
Shadow.
attention span of a little kid.
That's true. Yo, it's even worse. Like I struggle to pay attention to anything. I have to be multitasking at all times.
That's
which
fair.
is something I am not good at. Me trying to sit down and watch something is almost impossible. Although I will say, going on the treadmill or like elliptical is a great way to get through some shit, man.
Oh,
get
dude.
through shows.
I've been rewatching the Defenders stuff. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, all that.
Notice how he didn't say Iron Fist.
Oh, I'm gonna watch that too. And
I
Iron
like
Fist,
that.
Luke Cage, Does Not Like Punisher. I'm gonna watch all that. And I've been going back to the gym, and yeah, I get on the treadmill for an episode, and so like 3 times a week, I'm able to burn through them somewhat quick.
I usually do mine while I'm doing chores. Like I'll put it on my phone, and then I'll just have my phone sitting like somewhere in front of me while I'm like doing the dishes or folding laundry or whatever. And
yeah, I found I did that for a while too, but I found that I couldn't pay attention. I wasn't paying attention very well. So on the treadmill, there's nothing else to distract me unless Family Matters is on.
treadmills make me sick.
Love that Urkel. What about an elliptical or a bike?
Gotta go to the gym though, so
That's true.
I have a physical labor job, so I don't have to go to the gym.
I have a physical. Yeah, I mean, Joey is a machine, a literal robot. So.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah. He doesn't have to sleep. That's why he's able to record so much. Anyway, so this is one of our longer episodes for no reason. Okay.
Really? You just say Scooby Doo.
Oh, is that what you're waiting for? For me to go
Scooby-Doo? What was it? Rise of Skywalker, because that was over 2 hours.
Was it really?
Yeah. That's being released
people
this
are going
week.
to be mad.
Time of recording, it's releasing this week.
Oh, people are going to be really mad about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think we actually want to talk about the movie for like an hour of it, if that.
Wait, all right.
We released. Oh, that's going to go out, but then the Christmas one isn't going to be on Christmas.
The holiday special?
Yeah.
Or the holiday special.
Lego.
The Lego one's coming out the following week, so a couple days after. Yeah.
What's the point?
It's just the way it fell. I'm sorry.
You could literally rotate them around. Anyway,
Anyway,
Scooby-Doo.
bye.
Goodbye, everybody.